This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Welcome to Puny Pod's Monthly Bugle for October 2025. My name is Ryan, and my co-host, as always, is David. David, how are we doing this spooky season?
We are. I'm doing great, man. Like the thing that kind of we're recording in October. We're getting close to Halloween. There'll be a little Halloween theme in this episode. It's when I was growing up, my very favorite holiday. Like my very favorite. Like I used to. Anyway, I will not bore you with like my early attempt at doing a homemade Star Wars costume, but anyway, so I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm not too shabby, We're loving spooky season. I love it. I always have. Similarly, always kind of one of my favorite holidays. Ted loves it. He's getting real this year. He has picked up on spooky things and is enjoying them. Like I decided to turn on Nightmare Before Christmas the other day for him, and now he requests it like all the dang time. He's like spooky. And he found this. The other really adorable thing is he found this little. I mean, it's probably no taller than like 18 inches skeleton that we had in like one of our decoration boxes. And we had the decoration boxes out. We were getting stuff decorated, and he pulls this little skeleton out. And now he'll walk around holding the skeleton by the hand. And he makes us take it to the store with us and everything. So he's this 3-year-old walking around with a little skeleton that he's like holding by the hand.
Are you? Is your neighborhood like a big like trick or treat neighborhood?
Yeah, we're a pretty big one. There's a house. It's kind of funny. So there's a house like catty corner from us that like literally every year they just go to Spirit Halloween and they go into the animatronics section and they say, we'll take it all. So their house, like it looks like Clark Griswold, except with Halloween. Just it's like every animatronic from Spirit is just on their lawn and it's crazy. And it's funny because the houses around them have kind of adopted the same thing. So there's like 6 houses there that all have like crazy animatronic setups. On my street, a couple houses down, they did a lot with like skeletons and funny skeleton stuff. And then it's kind of funny because clearly they've inspired someone else on the street who now this was so clever. I love it. They have like an LED rope light going from the top of their house over to the street light that's like in front of their house. And they have skeletons climbing on the LED rope light. It's pretty great.
Nice. Yeah. In my neighborhood, it's hard to trick or treat because like there's not a lot of sidewalk and it's kind of hilly. And so that part, it's a bit of a drag. People have been skeletons seem to be the decoration du jour because I saw one that was like 12 feet tall with like glowing eyes. And yeah. But the very best, we had a neighbor, and they don't do it anymore, but basically they had a house and they basically decorated it like the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, that's cool.
And they did like for a while they had like Halloween, they had Disney kind of like light shows, and mostly like during the pandemic, and it was like so very cool, and people would just line up. It was so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting ready. Ted's got his Iron Man costume. I got to see if I still fit into Iron Ram.
I was going to say, how's the Iron Ram? How's that doing?
We'll see.
Just 3D print like a larger torso thing. It's fine. Like, look, here's the thing. If Alexi can get into the Red Guardian, still fits. Like, just, like, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Well, we are here to talk about some Marvel news. For those who aren't aware of what the Monthly Bugle is, if you've just listened this long, because our voices are so soothing and so enjoyable, the Monthly Bugle is the news arm of our show here of Puny Pod. So we cover the news as well as current releases. I will say neither of us got through Marvel Zombies. It's been a little bit of a crazy time here in Puny Pod HQs, and so we did not get through Marvel Zombies in time for this episode. So we'll get that. We'll catch you guys with that in November, which, I mean, we don't have a whole lot of current content throughout the rest of the year, so got to stretch out what we can get. So yeah, we'll get you guys current content usually in the Monthly Bugle, and then we talk about the news. So I'm going to jump right into the news here. We had a big comic convention. For those who aren't aware, New York Comic Con is kind of the second fiddle of comic conventions, right? San Diego Comic Con's the big one, right? San Diego Comic Con, big blowout. That's always a huge deal. You hear about the Hall H panels and all that. It's been a little bit less in recent years than normal, but generally San Diego Comic Con is it's the big kahuna. But on the East Coast, New York Comic Con is the big deal, and it is I think the second largest Comic Con. Dragon Con might come close down in Atlanta, but New York Comic Con, all the studios tend to go to New York Comic Con and kind of give some of their winter announcements there. So we had that here a couple weeks ago. So lots of news coming out of that to do with Marvel stuff. So I'm gonna break this down. I have animation. They talked mostly about the stuff that's on Disney Plus. So animation and then television, were the main focuses here. Plus comics news, but I did not get all that transcribed. So we're just gonna talk MCU stuff.
In all the cons, like, it's not just Marvel. Like, Warner Bros. Will be there to talk about DC stuff. There's independent stuff, but like, we're principally focusing on MCU nerd content.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, let's talk animation first here. So starting off with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. So if you don't remember, this is the animated Spider-Man voiced by Hudson Thames, kind of a little bit multiversal. We got a release window of fall 2026. So in about a year, we should be seeing this Season 2. We did see so there was some footage shown in the room. They kept this pretty locked up tight. Leaks of this footage are scant, if any exist. So please understand, all of this is like second party. I was not in New York to cover this. But in that in-room footage, we did see that Venom will be back. Venom was a big part of Season 1. Particularly the kind of climax and finale of Season 1. So Venom will be back in Season 2, and it seems like Spidey may be suiting up with his favorite black symbiote. Up next, we have X-Men 97 Season 2. We got a summer 2026 release window for this. They also added some names as executive producers. So Eric and Julia Lewald, who actually wrote the original X-Men, the animated series, are going to join as executive producers, as well as the original series director, Larry Houston. So some big names from the original series kind of coming on to co-sign and executive produce, which is cool.
Yeah, I think they were involved with X-Men 97, just not in these official roles, right?
Right. Yeah, I know I've seen a lot of like interviews where they like writers said, like Bo DeMaio had said he had gone and talked to them to do things and whatnot. But I did see in some other interviews, so they did show some again footage in the room. Um, looks like we got Archangel and uh we got four horsemen, including Gambit as Death in that footage, from what I hear. And then they did mention they compared it to more adult focused animation and not like humorous adult animation, but things like Japanese anime and that sort of thing where characters can die, right? This is not a kids show where everybody makes it out at the end and there is plot armor that protects everybody and that sort of thing and everything has a happy ending. There can be character deaths in this series, and that was something that I think it was Brad Winderbaum kind of commented on when he was being interviewed sometime else at the con. So give some nice stakes to the show, and I think that's that cool line that series has always run is like I can sit down and I can watch it with Ted, but I also know that it's got like the story beats are mature in a way where like it's enjoyable to adults as well.
You mean like the Magneto love tryst? Do you think Ted's not like diving into that? Question for you. So I know you categorize these by like different types. So animation, you have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 2, Season 2, and X-Men Season 2, 97 Season 2. If you could have sat in for one panel, which one would you have sat in on?
Probably X-Men 97.
Yeah, that's the right choice, right?
Yeah, I liked Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, but I think that's going to be one of those like when it shows up, and I'll be happy about it. X-Men 97, I'm stoked for, and Brad Winderbaum did say season 3 is also in the works of X-Men 97, so they're already cooking on that.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited to have like kind of like a comic book run, a series or more than one series that runs for multiple seasons, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you start thinking of like um other franchises, Clone Wars or whatever. Like, I'm not
Oh
saying
yeah.
I'm not saying we need 120 episodes, but it'd be cool to have like, oh, here are 5 seasons and there are 10, you know what I mean, to like have an arc and kind of build, and like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I kind of miss that in like current TV. Like current TV is really this like has really moved to this prestige model where if you get to 10 seasons, you've outworn your welcome, and you're looking at 6 to 10 episodes a season, and I
Well,
get it.
yeah,
It's higher budget, but
it was the old cable syndication model, right? Like, okay, we're going to crank out 10 seasons of Friends, and if we make 20 episodes a season, we're all bajillionaires, right?
right.
And that was the model. Nowadays it's more like you're saying, it's more curated, it's tighter cropped, which I actually appreciate until you get done with your favorite series. You're like, oh man, I really like some more Succession, or really like some more whatever, right?
Yeah. So moving on over into the television side. So this is Marvel Television is the name of the division, I guess. Um, this is the live action stuff. So they had Daredevil Born Again season 2 confirmed to be releasing March 4th, 2026. Kristen Ritter appeared on stage and announced she will be returning as Jessica Jones. She confirmed it. I think she's going to be in like a super suit. There's been a lot of talk about her costume in the kind of in the room footage. Matthew Lillard will be coming on board to play Kingpin's main political antagonist. So as much as Kingpin is going to be fighting Daredevil, on the superhero, supervillain side, he also has some political things going on, and Matthew Lillard will be his kind of thorn in the side on the political side. And then a really, really, really interesting quote here from Brad Winderbaum. He gave another interview that weekend, and he was asked, how does everything go? Like, how does this interact with the MCU and everything? And his exact quote was, "I think everything will go in order," referring to everything being released is in kind of in universe order. So Wonder Man, then Daredevil, then Spider-Man. And then he said Daredevil season 2 comes out before Spider-Man, and like I said, there's a coherence there. They're part of the world, but I wouldn't put too much faith in big, strong narrative connections. So we know that Punisher is going to show up in Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's been announced. And we know Punisher is obviously part of the Daredevil universe. So it's interesting. It was interesting to hear him like use the words very carefully to say, like, essentially to say the way I decode what he's saying, I guess is the best way to say it. I decode him, or I translate it as like events in Daredevil are not going to impact Spider-Man directly. Like, you're not necessarily like Spider-Man's not necessarily going to see issues where Fisk is like trying to create his own city state, right? Like, Spider-Man's not going to see any of that, but there is going to be kind of a feel that this is all part of one world.
And I think it's an interesting concept if you think about it, because we are talking about the same city, same timeline, same, MCU Earth number. I would see them as more alluding to it in the Daredevil series and the Spider-Man series. Spider-Man, because you have to deal with Sony and it's like its own standalone thing, and they're all kind of like these little independent projects. It makes far more sense that they will allude to it, reference it, hint at it in the Daredevil series. So
yeah, you're not going to see Spider-Man swinging along in the background, but you might get Daredevil saying something about that kid in Brooklyn or something.
Totally. Did you see who else was scheduled to return in Daredevil?
I did not.
One, Eldon Henson as Foggy Nelson.
You know what? I did see that. So I'll be really curious because, spoiler alert, if anybody hasn't watched Daredevil, if you haven't watched Daredevil season 1,
it doesn't matter.
Pause now and go watch it. But
it's out for a year. It's fine.
He's dead, right? Foggy's dead. And so what are we doing? Like, is he going to be a scroll? I'm guessing flashbacks.
It could be a flashback. As all things, like, he was interviewed. I think it was at LA Comic-Con, which is not San Diego Comic-Con, and where he was like, no, I'm not going to be on it. But it's like, I think it was confirmed like a day ago that he'll be there. If I were to guess, I would guess a flashback scene. Like,
yeah.
The dude was pretty dead. I don't know. I don't know how you Coulson him back from the dead, but we'll see.
So moving on to something that impacts this show a little bit, is Wonder Man. So Wonder Man got a whole lot of stuff going on. So it got pushed back to January 27th, 2026. So congratulations, David. I think you're going to win the bet this year.
No. Well, that's a side thing. You're not going to take a zero. That doesn't make any sense.
We can figure it out. I'm happy to take a zero because I took the chance on that. But
no. That's nonsense. Like, if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. You're not punished for the rating. Anyway, we'll put that aside. But are you surprised it's delayed?
A little bit because 2026 is going to be loaded. There's going to be a lot in 2026, so a little bit surprised it got pushed back. I'm curious what delayed it. I don't know, right? It's interesting. But they put out like a little teaser, and then literally the next day put out a full trailer, which was pretty fun. We see Ben Kingsley coming back, reprising his role as Trevor Slattery.
Okay. I just have one comment here. I like Ben Kingsley, or I'm sorry, I like Sir Ben Kingsley. I think he's a great actor. We just watched him in Shang-Chi. Okay, cool. Like, show up again in the middle of the movie and then kind of derail it. That's fine. But Jesus Christ, like like
Who
we
put
haven't seen
Trevor
Mordo
as
in like 10 years. We haven't seen like Simu Lu in like 5 years. Jesus Christ. Like, okay, we get it. Like, it's a running joke, but like, would you rather have, I don't know, more Coulson or like, oh my God, just try like, anyway,
yeah.
good on him. Love the wig work. I will be down to watch it. The delay, because again, remember it was going to be like December, right?
Mhm,
And so they're
mhm.
pushing it back a month. We've seen some, not movies, some TV shows push a bit.
The theory I heard was they wanted to get out of the way of Stranger Things. They didn't want to compete with Stranger Things in December,
Okay, I mean, I could see that.
which I
It
could see that.
now
Yeah.
that's an interesting. We should, as a side note, we should probably note like when you start think of the big releases on Max, Netflix, and Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, like because you think of movies, you're like, whoa, I don't want to go up against fill in the blank, you know, Tom Cruise movie. I'm going to push it back 3 weeks, and the fact that they're doing that with streaming is interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you think about it. I mean, a lot of the conversation now is people, sign up for these services, binge through whatever show, and then cancel the next month, right? Like that's obviously the companies don't want you doing that, but I think they understand people do.
And
And
that's why Stranger Things I would release one a month. Just string that baby out.
yeah.
So yeah, you've seen the teaser and trailers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks great. It's gonna. So I was I listening? Maybe it was the official Marvel podcast or something. I was watching about Wonder Man was talking about. It's gonna be like a meta black comedy about Hollywood, right? So it's kind of making fun of itself in a way, and that's evident in the trailer, right? When you watch the trailer, it's very clear that I think the like director of the movie that the Wonder Man movie. So I guess rewind real quick and let me explain kind of in the comic books. Wonder Man's origin story is he's a stunt man in Hollywood who gets irradiated and becomes the superhero that he has been doing stunts of, right? Um and this in this case, the in-universe movie, the director of the in-universe movie kind of says like, "Oh, people are tired of superheroes, but what if I made it completely different?" And it feels like that's also Marvel saying that, like, what if we did this kind of as a lark? And as a little bit of like a self-parody situation. So,
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I don't know with that premise of like it's Trevor Slattery, it's Yaha Abdul Mateen's character like interviewing, like auditioning for this role, and how you get from that to be an actual superhero. I'm kind of in for that.
yeah.
The thing that I found interesting, like because the they're going with a few directors. They're going with a showrunner and then like various directors. But Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, he
Mhm.
is doing the latest Spider-Man movie. He directed a couple episodes. So I'm looking forward to this one. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it should be good. Josh Gad, or the back of his head, was in the trailer. So Josh Gad will be making his MCU debut, I think, as himself. The rumor is he's going to be playing Josh Gad.
Okay. If this thing got delayed because Josh Gad couldn't record something back in like August, I'm gonna be livid. But let's keep pushing on.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Vision Quest. So Vision Quest is releasing sometime in 2026. We don't have a date yet. We don't have a release window other than 2026. It is the way that they're describing it is as concluding the trilogy of WandaVision, Agatha, All Along, and Vision Quest. There was in-room footage shown, and it kind of showed So this is gonna get heady for a second, but hang with me. So the in-room footage made it apparent that this was White Vision, who we saw at the end of WandaVision. So it's White Vision kind of in his own head. So he's in his own mind, going into a house, and you see him interact with human representations of various Stark created AI things, right?
Okay, you've already lost me.
Oh, I know. It's really heady, but bear with me. So let me go through the cast here real quick, because this is some pretty cool stuff. So you got Paul Bettany coming back as White Vision, which, of course. Henry Lewis is going to be playing the human embodiment of Dumb E.
Oh, he's dummy.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
Dummy.
that's fun. Okay.
And then
It was always just like
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Sayer is you, who is Tony's other assistant, the one that is not Dummy, basically, right? And actually they're both British comedians, part of a British improv group. They had a BBC show called The Goes Wrong Show. So funny, they have some funny background there. James Darcy will be showing up as the human embodiment of Jarvis, which is kind of fun because he's been Jarvis, right? He voiced Jarvis in What If. He was Jarvis in Agent Carter. He was Jarvis in Endgame.
Yep.
So cool to see them pull him back in, despite the fact that obviously Paul Bettany was the voice of Jarvis. I guess in Vision's head, he has to distinguish himself from Jarvis. Orla Brady, who has been on Picard a few times, is going to be playing the human embodiment of Friday. Emily Hampshire, who was in Schitt's Creek, she's going to be the human embodiment of Edith. And then here we go. Name pronunciation that I am going to fumble. I know it. I meant to look it up, but Raruda Mokala is going to be playing Thomas Shepard / Maximoff. They gave us confirmed Tommy's showing up, so we're gonna get Speed. We got Wiccan obviously and Agatha all along. Now we get Speed, so pretty excited for that. It is kind of funny right now. I saw I think it was Joe Locke posted on TikTok. He is, so right now he's in a West End, which is like British Broadway play, where he plays the love interest of Mokala. And so it's kind of funny because the brothers are currently playing love interests, which is kind of funny moment.
Yeah.
And then the other big one, famous for his role in The Office, James Spader will be returning as Ultron. So excited to see that. I'm glad James Spader's back. It's been a minute since we got that iconic voice actually doing Ultron. So glad
We'll have to put on the list of things to talk about the various AI assistants, right?
Yeah.
There's Edith. I remember there was like Jocasta.
There's rumors that Jocasta is going to be in Vision Quest, which Jocasta is. So we saw reference to Jocasta in
on the drive,
on a drive. In the comics, Jocasta is Ultron's daughter, effectively.
Yeah. So,
hey
folks, if you're lost, that's fine. We're barely hanging in there ourselves. So
in the end, it looks like this is gonna be kind of White Vision discovering himself. He now has all of Red Vision's memories, including the ones from inside the Hex. And it's him discovering what that means, right? What it means to be Vision.
Okay, 2 questions for you. One, if you could have been on any of these panels, which one would you have wanted to been on to watch? Like, you see the showrunners, you see the creatives, you see the footage. Which one would you want to be on?
I think if I could travel back in time and get into one, I would go to Vision Quest.
Yes, we assume there's time travel. Like, we've already
Right.
established in the Marvel, like it's
Right, but I think my point being that like if I was at New York Comic Con and these three are in like I had to go get in line to get the newest Labubu or go to one of these panels, I would go to Daredevil Born Again. Like that's the one
okay.
that I would choose like walking into the convention. But
Okay.
I think like again, knowing what was shown in the room and what would have been like, oh my gosh, this would have been so cool to see. I probably would have gone to Vision Quest.
Second question. Daredevil Born Again, Wonder Man, Vision Quest. Marry, Disney, kill. Who are you marrying? Which one are you taking Disney? Which one are you killing? Play off of the old MFK, but
Yeah.
let's keep it clean.
Yeah. Oh man, this is tough because I don't know what I want to kill. I guess I would kill Wonder Man, but I'm also that it's only because I have to kill something. I want to be very clear. I am excited for Wonder Man. I am very excited for
I would
that
choose Wonder
show.
Man just for Ben
Yeah.
Kingsley, just to be done. But anyway, keep going.
I think I'm taking Vision Quest to Disney. And then I think I'm marrying Daredevil just because Daredevil is such a like it's a sure thing. It's just it's gonna be good.
Charlie Cox is the best. He's great, right?
Plus Kristen Ritter. I
Kristen
mean,
Ritter, yeah. I think that's probably the right call. Anyway, sorry for the nonsense diversion.
no, you're good. You're good. And then one other little tiny thing that I think this came out in like an interview. It wasn't on the panels or anything. There was discussion of the Punisher special presentation, and that is targeted to be released between Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and Spider-Man Brand New Day. So kind of bridging the gap there. So sometime between March and July, we should get that Punisher special presentation, which the special presentations are like hour and a half Disney Plus release. Self-contained story mostly kind of situation.
Yeah, I'll watch it, right?
Yeah.
Punisher, it's great.
So that was New York Comic Con. Lots of news on the Disney Plus front kind of coming out there in New York Comic Con. So really excited for a lot of that stuff. I think we're gonna that's 2 animated shows, 3 live action shows coming out in 2026. Now obviously we only have 1 movie slated as of right now. We only have Spider-Man Brand New Day slated in 2026. So got to make up for it somewhere, I guess, but yeah, I think it should be good, and it doesn't, even though it's 5 projects, to me it doesn't feel overwhelming. Like it doesn't feel like there's too much. There's not a whole lot of this that's like, why did anyone ask for that, right? The closest you get maybe is Wonder Man, but I think to me the premise sells it for me.
Yeah, it's pretty low stakes, right? We've talked a lot about like, can they create content that does not cost an arm and a leg with a bunch of CGI that, that's $20 million an episode. And again, unless Sir Ben Kingsley's demanding like a boat ton of money, like it should be like well within, but so it's good. And I also feel like it's good for them to kind of play with different styles and genres. The fact that they're doing some sort of like, kind of a self-ironic send up a little bit, I think is fun, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, play with the genres, do something different. Like, I was trying to figure out like the last time we had just 1 movie in a year, and it's like,
It's been,
from what I can see, Uh, 2010 was the last time.
Pre-2020. I mean, yeah, without counting 2020 in there.
Yeah, 2020 we had nothing, but we had 3 in 2019. We had famously 4 in 2021, and then 2010 we had Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Nothing in 2009. So,
Hmm.
but again, it's shifted. We've kind of moved on to the kind of balance between Disney.
Multi-release.
Yeah, totally. So, and then the Avenger. We won't get into like the stuff that got pushed a little bit, but I think we talked about before how the Avengers slots kind of like shifted a little bit. I still maintain, like, I would not be shocked if they dropped in another
Blade.
movie. Okay. Okay. Having just watched 3/4 or no more, like 7/8 of Zombies What If, the fact that they didn't have they had a different voice actor. Like
It wasn't Mahershala Ali.
no, it's Mahershala Ali, like someone else. Anyway, so I don't think it's gonna be Blade. I would, I've seen stuff online on Reddit where people are like, "Oh, it'll be an X-Men movie," or "Hey, it'll be the second Fantastic Four." I don't think it'll be anything big like that.
Yeah.
But I would be down for something like small city, gritty.
Even like a Shang-Chi 2.
Dude, don't get me started, man. Like,
or like even we're working towards Young Avengers, right? And and actually that maybe that's what it is like a street level Young Avengers, right? With Speed and Wiccan and Hawkeye and like Lady Hawkeye.
if you took Lady Hawkeye, Kate, if you took Ms. Marvel, if
Kamala
you
Khan, yeah.
Kamala Khan, if you took oh god, what's her name from? Oh god, we just watched the movie, the TV show with the female Iron Man, Riri Williams,
yep, Ironheart.
Ironheart.
Yeah, throw in Stature real quick,
Yep,
right?
just a show on that, and it's or a movie on that. I'll watch it. Sounds great.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome, right?
Yeah,
So,
and it doesn't have to be them fighting some alien invading force. They can just go fight, the Foot Clan or something. I don't know.
yeah, it's like when you think of comics, you think of like a 4-episode arc, right?
Yeah.
Not super in depth. There's not a lot of crossover. It's not saving the universe. It's just this own little kind of isolated thing. That'd be super fun. So, yeah. So the only other stuff that's going, you mentioned Spider-Man Brand New Day. There was a set photo which seemed to confirm that we will be seeing Bruce Banner, the Hulk, return as a character. So there's a picture of Mark Ruffalo kind of wearing a hoodie on the set. Seems likely he'll appear. As you remember, I think it's Paramount has distribution rights on any standalone Hulk film, so he will always be in combo films. He will never be on his own, right?
Yeah.
We can save as a separate discussion when we get to Brave New World how it would have been so much better for him to be in Brave New World, since that was basically like an Incredible Hulk sequel, but I will put that aside. So that would be, I think, his 9th appearance in the MCU. I'd have to count it up, but like, anyway, how excited are you for Brave New World? Brand new day.
I'm
Brave New World, Brave New Order, World New Order, like whatever, it's fine.
I'm pretty stoked. I'm really, I like that we reset Spider-Man a little bit, and this is like, that was about the only way you were ever going to get him out of Avengers level threats, right? Like, once you get Spider-Man entangled in Avengers level stuff, it's really hard to bring him back down to friendly neighborhood status. And I think Brand New Day is going to be that friendly neighborhood feeling. It's going to be street level. He's going to deal with the Punisher. He's, he's kind of an unknown at this point because nobody remembers who he is. And so, probably isn't going to be multiversal. Every now and again, somebody throws a rumor out there that the 3 Spider-Men are returning and yada yada yada, and they're not. We're not going to get Miles, unfortunately, because Sony is holding on to Miles with a death grip until they finish their animated series. And so I think this has a lot of potential to be a really fun Spider-Man movie, a lot like the Sam Raimi ones, right? The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies that were just, he fought through New York. He wasn't taking on Galactus. He wasn't taking on the Skrull. He wasn't, fighting Thanos. He was dealing with Doc Ock and dealing with the Green Goblin and just dealing with these street level threats that I I think that's what this one's gonna go back to, and I'm really hopeful for that because I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, I think it's if you're only going to get one, this should be a really good one, right? And
Yeah.
for the other properties, if they feel like it's not quite baked, take your time, make it better. Like
Yeah.
let's not rush it. Like we've seen a couple unsteady phases, so just make sure it's good. So,
Yeah.
you had mentioned we in their notes. You said that you have there's a couple Avenger team up shows to mention
There
that are coming up.
are, yeah, yeah, a couple episodes. Just to give you guys insight into what's been on repeat in my house lately. So Marvel's Spidey and his amazing friends and Iron Man and his awesome friends have crossed over, and they're doing two crossover episodes where they're fighting it's all the villains, all the heroes all together. And it's kind of introducing the concept of the Avengers, which I know they're working on an Avengers preschool show. So these are the preschool shows. And literally every morning this week, Ted has woken me and my wife up with Spidey Iron Man, Spidey Iron Man, Spidey Iron Man. He loves it. It's great. It is super fun. It is a little funny because in Spidey and his amazing friends, they had Iron Man early on, but he was portrayed as older. He was portrayed as kind of an adult. And so it's kind of funny now because the Iron Man from Iron Man and his amazing friends is more like Spidey's age, which I would say is like elementary school kid.
Okay. So
Uh,
what time in the morning is this? What time are we talking about?
oh, we're talking like 5-6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I
Yeah.
remember the time. I distinctly remember the time I was at Disneyland with the kids, and my son being up at like we're staying at like I don't know the Hojo or whatever, and he's up at like 5 something, and he's just watching when the hotels have like the
Oh
6
yeah.
minute video of the Disneyland property. He's just watching on repeat, so I can empathize.
Yeah.
Do you just like cue it up the night before and say, Teddy, just press this one button and it's all yours?
We're close. We're close.
Okay. Well, good. Like I'm glad. That sounds like it's gonna be a fun watch.
Yeah, it's super fun. And for all the parents out there, if you haven't got your kids into the Spidey and his amazing friends or Iron Man and his awesome friends, definitely do. And if you are like me and you are, you're a young parent, or parent of a young child who, you also grew up during the time I did, it probably means that you're familiar with Fallout Boy and Blink 182. And I will say that the theme songs for those shows, the theme song for Spidey and his amazing friends is done by Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy, and Iron Man and his awesome friends is Mark Hoppus from Blink 182, which is super fun. And at least it makes it so it's not like grating, I love you, you love, it's at least
Wow.
enjoyable.
God, Barney catching strays here, but okay, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. But let's round out a little bit here with our last story, David. So, it is Halloween season. This is going to release probably right before Halloween. There is a lot of spooky kind of stuff last year. So if you really want, like, we did a pretty fun one last year where we like drafted like a Halloween costume, a thing to do that isn't just movies, and we talked about a lot of spooky season stuff. So go back and listen to our Monthly Bugle October 2024 for some more tips. But this year I wanted to talk a little bit about, the things to watch, right? What can you watch? It's Halloween, and you want to watch something, you want to stay maybe within the Marvel universe. So what can you watch? So I'll start by saying, maybe the obvious one, but also the one probably some people have kind of forgotten about, I find, is Werewolf by Night. So this was the very first special presentation that Marvel did. It was directed by Michael Giacchino, who also did the music. And you might know that name, Michael Giacchino, because he's done a ton of music across the Disney sphere. The one I know him best from is Up. So the like do 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 do, that's his work. But he did Werewolf by Night. It is classic kind of monster story set in the MCU. Um, None of the characters are like in the MCU anywhere else, so haven't seen them elsewhere. But this is like a part of the comics that exists. It involves like Man Thing and the Bloodstones and a werewolf. So, and Werewolf by Night.
Uh,
So
to
super
be
fun.
to be clear, are you advocating the black and white version or the colorized version?
I actually have not watched the colorized version yet, and partially out of protest. I should watch it at some point, maybe when we get around to it on our rewatch on the main show. Maybe I'll watch both versions.
Nah, I'm not doing that.
Um,
Not doing that.
but the black and white version definitely is much better. They use color specifically, and this was something Michael Giacchino talked about when it first released, is like there is some pops of color and they are used strategically to tell the story. So definitely I would suggest watching the black and white version. Get over any compunction you have about it being black and white, and just watch that, and then, maybe check out I should check out the colorized version. Just, I am curious. But yeah, definitely check out that black and white version.
I'm having flashbacks to when Ted Turner bought a bunch of like old movie classics and then colorized them. You're just like, yeah, that we didn't need to colorize Frankenstein. We were good. Now I will probably watch it. I'll make my way through it. I do appreciate the version as was originally filmed, and that's kind of like what you want to kind of honor and watch. But
Yeah.
check them out. I would say the one I would add, as I mentioned before, I'm almost done with What If Zombies, or I'm sorry, Marvel Zombies. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Marvel Zombies.
Marvel
Yeah.
Zombies. It's super creepy. It's really, really well done. I think we mentioned before, like this may be my favorite Marvel animated series. It does not disappoint. It is scary. You'll like it.
Yeah. The first episode that had Marvel Zombies was in What If season 1. I think it was episode 5. So if you want to see the origin, it's there. But other than that, the new series is out. It just came out this month. So go check that out.
And again, to reiterate, it is animated. It is not for young children. So no. Speaking of young children,
yeah, a couple of movies for y'all. So some movies that I debated putting. I looked through the MCU. I did debate putting Multiverse of Madness on here because it's theoretically supposed to be a horror movie, but I don't know.
Nah,
It doesn't.
it's not.
It's not Halloween horror. I don't feel.
No. Wanda does no trick or treating in that movie. Not to spoil it, but yeah, it's scary. It's there are grotesque aspects to it, but it's not a horror movie.
Yeah, but a couple non MCU movies that play well at this time of year. One is actually a series of movies, which is the Blade movies, right? The Wesley Snipes. Only gonna be one Blade. But the Wesley Snipes Blade movies, those, obviously Blade the vampire slash vampire hunter. Ryan Reynolds is in them. They're kind of the OG Marvel movie. I think they were the first. Are they the first feature length movies? Blade
For
for
Marvel?
Marvel.
No, they had some weird, like, if you remember, they had some weird, like, Incredible Hulk
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
right? Like all that stuff. But if you're talking about,
like theatrical releases.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
right. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four movie that you and I both want to see.
The Corman. Yeah.
Cormac McCarthy, we could, like,
It's somewhere out there, man. It's somewhere out
it's
there.
on the dark web. If anyone has it, send us an email.
Dark web.
And dark web. Anyway.
The other one that I want to mention that I actually have not seen myself, but I've heard it's actually a little bit slept on is New Mutants. So this was at the tail end of Fox doing mutant things. And this is Magic, the character Magic, to be clear. And her kind of oeuvre. So these are, and it is creepy, kind of spooky, mutant stuff. So I might check that one out maybe in the coming days here if I can fit it in between Shang-Chi and watching zombies. But yeah, I think that's one that a lot of people don't think about or maybe don't even know about to some degree. Like people straight up just don't know it exists. So check out New Mutants for sure. And then in the MCU, the only full show, there's lots of episodes here and there, right? Spidey and His Amazing Friends has some Halloween episodes. You can go seek those out. They're like if you go to Disney Plus and go to the Halloween section, they're set aside there. But the show that I think is very Halloween focused is Agatha All Along. So the MCU show Agatha All Along released last year during this time of year. Super, super good. I've been revisiting clips of it lately, and man, that was such a good show.
Yeah, that's a good call. Like if you want something that evokes a Halloween, a scariness, the witches, blah, it's a great call. On a related note, WandaVision had an episode, as you remember, the all new Halloween Spooktacular episode 6. Very fun. It's humorous, it's creepy. It's a fun watch, especially if you have read the original comics and you see Vision and Wanda show up the original outfits. It's great. A couple more to mention. It's not MCU per se, but Haunted Mansion, the remake, is again, it's on Disney Plus. I actually kind of liked it. Like, I know people like didn't love it. I thought it was kind of entertaining. I thought it was kind of fun. There's also, if you have younger ones, there's Mickey's Spooky Stories. There's a couple cartoonish related
Dude,
Halloween.
the Paul Ruddish one, so which is the newer Mickey that's actually animated, not like stop motion animated. It is a fever dream. We we watch that one every once in a while around here. It is crazy. That new version of Mickey is nuts.
Okay.
But
all right.
I do like the old ones too. I've been revisiting like the old RKOs and like watching like Trick or Treat, which is Donald and his nephews, Lonesome Ghost, which is like 1937 Mickey. It's still Walt voicing Mickey. Those ones are, and Skeleton Dance, of course, but those ones are super fun. You know, not in the MCU world, but super fun to go check out.
Yeah. And then Freddy versus Jason and His Amazing Friends is a fun. Okay. Leatherface and His Amazing Friends. Anyway, so yeah, those are some fun Halloween watches. Check them out.
Yeah, and speaking of Leatherface and spooky stuff, I do want to give a quick plug for my the stuff that I do as concierge, right? So I want to give a quick note. I am a travel planner with concierge. I can help you get to Halloween Horror Nights with Universal, or if you are into the horror stuff and you want to do it all year round, Universal just opened a it's not a park, it's four haunted houses with kind of a themed hub in the middle in Vegas. So they have like a year round Halloween Horror Nights going on called Universal Monsters, and I think it's Monsters Unlimited. No, Horror Unlimited. But I can also help you out with that. We do specialize in Disney, but we do non-Disney stuff too. I'm actually headed out to Vegas in December, so I'm hoping to go check out Universal stuff out there so that I can kind of show it to folks. But if you're, speaking of horror, if you are into horror stuff, it's a great time to travel. And then it's also just a great time if you're looking towards the holidays or looking to give the gift of travel. Now is the time for that kind of thing. So hit me up, Ryan. That is R Hardon. So RHARDON at concierge.com. Just shoot me an email and we'll get you set up. David, anything before I do the other plugs and get us out of here?
I am good, my man.
Sweet. So yeah, check out the show's socials. We are the Puny Pod on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on Blue Sky. So check out Puny Pod. You can just search for us and find us. You can I also, David and I did a test recording of a new show concept. Not it may be Marvel related someday. We'll see. But kind of we're doing a draft show, so think old school like fantasy football draft. Where we talk about Disney subjects. We're calling it Fantasyland Draft League. We released the test recording over on the Supreme Resort feed. It's under we put it under the title of Dirty Yellow Strap presents. So go check out Dirty Yellow Strap presents Fantasyland Draft League, and then look forward to that in your feeds in the coming year. David and myself and some other friends are working on actually launching that as its own feed. So pretty excited to get to talk to you guys about some other stuff. And then from there, our next main show is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I am so excited for this one. And I will also say, so David, you and I talked about this a little bit pre-recording, and I almost forgot to mention this. So for those who have been listening for a while, David has not seen the Eternals. Not all
I've
the way
seen
through.
like I was gonna say I've seen like 10 minutes and I tapped out. And that's a long time ago. Pre-podcast, back in like early days, like, dude, I've got so much stuff going on. I can't keep this straight. But yes, I've only seen part of it.
We want to capitalize on this a little bit. And so if you would be interested in hanging out in a Google Meet or in some sort of way of hanging out, well, David watches the Eternals for the first time, shoot an email to punypod at earsup-podcast, or shoot us a message on one of our socials. Get a hold of us somehow. Reach out to us on the Discord, however you want to get a hold of us. If you're interested in that, we'd be up for setting up some sort of Google Meet where folks are watching together and get to experience David experiencing this for the first time. So details to come. It will definitely work with, whoever is interested in doing this will work with you to try and get this set up. But definitely hit us up because It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, so jump on it while you can.
I will say, if honestly, if anyone reaches out on Discord or email, I will literally give you my Disney Plus login credentials, and we can watch at the same time. It'd be fun, kind of fun. Like it's kind of your virtual experience of like, hey, we're all in the same room watching the same thing, and I am going to, if in any event, I'm going to watch it without reading any notes, any trivia, any background stuff. I'm just going to fire that baby up and see where it takes us. So,
heck yeah. Well, thank you all for listening. And again, our next main show will be Shang-Chi, which is going to be great. And I'm super excited. That should be out literally like maybe even the same week this episode comes out. I know we've been wonky with our release schedules. It's been like a whole month since we've released anything, and now we're going to do 2 in a week. But here we are. And so, yeah, definitely check out that Shang-Chi episode, and we will see you on the next one. Enough said.